Hey, it's Kamori, and today we're going to talk about graveyard photo shoots. Now, anime and video game characters come from all sorts of backgrounds, including some very spooky ones, so what better place to do a photo shoot than a graveyard? Maybe not. Okay, so most people probably would not appreciate having people dressed in all these outlandish costumes posing and taking pictures next to their loved ones' remains. That and quite a few cemeteries have rules regarding what types of photography can be taken, if photography can even be done in the cemetery at all, not to mention that a lot of people would find it kind of distasteful. So, there's nothing stopping you from taking photos of your cosplays in a cemetery, but if you're like me, you might be a little uncomfortable with the idea. So, what do? Well, you have two options. The first is to do a photo shoot of the character, and then take those photos and turn them into composite images by photoshopping in stock photos of gravestones and cemeteries. Now, if you or a friend are really talented with photo editing, that's definitely an option. But the other option is to go through a process using practical effects to build your own graveyard. And that's what we did for my Liliana photo shoot. So here are a few tips for building your own graveyard set. As you may expect, the easiest time to find gravestones is around Halloween. You can find them pretty much at any store that sells really any Halloween product. Now, shop around before you decide which grave markers you're going to get, because sometimes stores can have very inflated pricing for holiday decorations, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money just for a chunk of styrofoam. So if you don't have the option of purchasing them, you can just make them on your own using styrofoam, wood, EVA foam, cardboard, whatever you've got lying around, you can repurpose for the sake of your photo shoot. Sometimes the tombstones will have a spike made out of either plastic or metal embedded in the bottom of the tombstone to make it easy to anchor into the ground. Now, depending on the way the spike looks, this may make it so that it's no longer convention appropriate, and you may not be able to bring it to the convention. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're planning your photo shoot. Now, that brings us, along with the spikes, be aware of how much of an impact you're making on the area when you're doing the photo shoot. You don't want to go around trampling the garden, and you don't want the spike from the bottom of the tombstone to be leaving a big hole in the ground at the venue. Now, for Liliana, we didn't have to quite worry about this as much because the garden we were shooting in had already been ripped up because the convention center was having a whole bunch of construction done, so thankfully we didn't have to worry about that too much. Now, you also want to pay attention to how much of an impact you're leaving on the area. You don't want to leave your tombstones behind. Be sure to pick them up and bring them with you so you don't have an unfortunate surprise for somebody who comes after you. And it's always good photo shoot etiquette to make sure that the location looks either the same or preferably better than when you first arrived. If you're unable to use the spikes for whatever reason, one thing you can do to prop up the tombstones is to either lay them against a tree so it looks like they are still standing, or you can put either more of the tombstones, a bag, a rock, something behind it to keep it from falling over. A graveyard set can be a great way to add a little bit more spookiness to your cosplay photos. If you have any other suggestions or any thoughts on this topic you'd like to share, please let me know in the comments below. For more cosplay tutorial videos and cosplay topic videos, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching!